Let's go, drinks on Dusty, let's start the show. Drinks on Dusty, coming in hot, coming in to blow up the spot. The guests be picking, what we be drinking, we don't know what Dusty is thinking. We are here to have a good time, see where the convo may just climb. Sit back, put your drinks up, go on y'all, fill up your cup. Drinks on Dusty, let's go. Come on y'all, start the show. Oh no. Woo! So today I have two of my favorite girls in New York City. I can't look at them because they're going to make me break character during this entire intro. But they're two of my very, very, very good friends. They are actresses. They are musicians. They are talented, beautiful, wonderful, awesome women. It is Julia Wilkinson and Megan Goodman! Ladies, thank you guys for coming on the podcast today.
You're very welcome.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
I'm lucky that they gave me the time to be on here. What are we drinking?
Very busy schedules.
What are we drinking today, ladies? What was your drink of choice?
Well, we are white and we are girls, so we're drinking rosé.
Pink wine makes me slutty.
Yeah,
You guys, it's a quote from New Girl.
Oh Jesus! I was like, we're just starting. We're just going in.
It's not false, but it's also a quote from New Girl, which is my favorite TV show.
Oh wow, that just took me. I love you. That took me off guard.
So, as you guys may not have known, so the initial idea of the podcast was Drinks on Dusty is, as you two have been probably one of the forefront people knowing.
Yeah.
I love to pay for drinks and buy drinks.
But
against our will,
wasted.
and also against our will. It's always not. Oh, it's always not consensual by the other party. It's always just like, I'm buying your drink.
And it's like a $200 tab. We're like, no, Dustin, you can't buy all of these drinks. You're gonna go broke, and you just get too drunk and
Hey,
that's prideful, and you're just
I'm
like,
rich.
I
I'm rich.
Bro.
Sure.
I'm a big deal. I'm rich. But I like to buy drinks. So the whole part of the podcast was I buy the drinks, the people come in, and they sit and talk with me. And, COVID-19, everything that's happening, haven't been able to do that. Wasn't able to. It kind of stopped, and then everything's gone.
I mean, you know my Venmo. So you can always...
Yeah, I usually send people money for drinks now during Zooms and Venmos, but you guys are both here. So I want to start off with, for anyone who may not know who you guys are, give a little intro about what you do, who you are, your profession, and shit. So why don't we start over here to the one on my right with the red.
Okay, that's me.
Is that a shirt?
What? Yeah.
I don't know. It's like a
covers my
cutoff
torso.
thing. I don't know if it was like a special thing.
It's not a
It's
bra.
still a shirt.
You didn't say it was a bra.
What else would it be? It's still a shirt.
Well, it's I didn't know if there was a special thing for it.
All right, listeners,
it's a
everyone
blouse.
text Dustin the definition of a shirt when you are listening to
It's
this
just an
episode.
off-the-shoulder shirt,
Just-
and he was confused if it was still a shirt.
Yeah, that sounds.
So I'm Julia. I'm 25. I've been in the city for 3 years now. I'm a bartender in the city, but I'm also in transition right now to actually work with Megan at her company at Roomies, which
Amazing.
is I don't know, it's like you match roommates for apartments. And we're based in Brooklyn, so I'm a bartender that's transitioning out of the restaurant world right now, but more importantly, I'm a performer in this city, but I'm more focused on directing. So I've been directing. I directed a year ago, and I'm in progress of directing a web series right now. So.
Atta girl.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, Jules. And Megan, can you give everyone a little lowdown about who the fuck you are?
Yeah, who the fuck am I? My name is Megan Goodman. Julia and I actually moved here together 3 years ago. We lived in a sublet together in a studio apartment, me, her, and another girl. It was
Shout out to Alyssa.
Shout out to Alyssa,
Alyssa.
but what a poor choice.
I love that, not to cut you off, I love that anytime I have Western, I've had basically all Western people on, it's always shout outs to all these Western
We
people.
have to. We have to.
Yeah,
It's
sure.
Don't live in a studio with two other people. It's a bad idea.
Yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, I've been here for 3 years. We both majored in musical theater, but we kind of have our own paths now, and mine is more the music route. So I sing, I play guitar, and I write music as well. I'm working on trying to get an EP together, so hopefully in the next year that will happen. To make money, I work in real estate. at Roomies. Julia just started, and then I also.
Roomies like a really big thing in New York City too.
I mean, they're like kind of like a newer company. They've been around for like 6 years, but it's a really cool company because nobody really does anything like the way that we do it. It's all like leases, but by the room, so it's pretty cool. You can make a good amount of money doing it. It can be stressful sometimes too. But
What do you mean by stressful? Why is it stressful?
I mean, it's just like, people are just hard to deal with, and just like filling an apartment and like getting them all in at the right time so they can sign the lease and move in, and then there's competition from other companies who could rent out the apartment before you do.
And you have to weed through the people that are serious about it and not.
Yeah, so now we're best friends. We live together and we're gonna work together. We might as well just get married.
So
we pretty much are married.
I mean,
so.
you guys have been together for.
Yeah, my love. Like together, you make it sound like we're actually a couple.
So, for everybody, so Julia and Megan came into college when I was.
We were a junior, right?
I was a junior, so they were freshmen when they came into Wesleyan Theater, which again, another Wesleyan guest of mine. So you guys kind of came in together, and you guys have always kind of came in with this like group, like you guys kind of all came in this whatever group that you guys had.
Yeah.
But you guys have kind of been together for just you lived together. You moved to New York, kind of not together. I guess.
Yeah, we did it.
Like the same day,
Okay.
we lived together.
So
Our relationship is also interesting because like I think we were close freshman year, and then like. And sophomore year, but then we kind of took a little bit of a hiatus, like junior. We were still friends, we just weren't like hanging out every day.
Mm-hmm.
And so we took a little bit of a hiatus, like junior, like maybe half of senior year, and then like the second half of senior year, we started getting really close again. And
we started working out. We had we would work out together, so we had the same schedule, pretty much in the same shows that year. So we started working out the Weary together, and we even created an Instagram called Swole Sisters.
It failed.
It failed.
Well, you guys have created
a lot of Instagrams.
Yes.
A lot of Instagrams.
I just don't think influencers are path in life, but we try.
I try. But and then we got close by working out, but then also we both actually went to UpDoes together, which is like a festival for people who are about to go into the professional acting world, and so that was a really fun trip with Megan and Alyssa and Drew, who's been on your podcast, and
my last guest,
Nick, and that got us really close. So that kind of spearheaded Alyssa, Megan, and I moving in together in New York, because the three of us they were close. I was close to Megan, so we all got close. And then I don't know. I think it took like 5-6 years for us to realize that like. You know, you can be friends with people, but that doesn't mean that you'll always be successful roommates with a friend. But it just worked out that we still were able to be really close and be roommates at the same time.
Okay. I like to.
Why did I smell it?
I like to have a lot of fun. As everyone knows, I have a podcast about drinking.
Yeah.
I like to drink, hang out with people, and everything like that. So we're gonna be taking shots during this. I did just run out of tequila, which is sad. But I'm drinking whiskey and shit.
For everyone listening, Dustin is in a cowboy hat right now, and
His Irish cowboy hat,
and he's holding a gigantic bottle of Crown Royal Apple and is about to take a pull of it.
I'm a borderline
just
alcoholic.
to paint the picture for you.
I'm a borderline alcoholic.
That's why we love him.
Yeah, I mean,
right,
some people love it, some people hate it. Cheers again
Cheers,
to my
y'all.
girls. We're gonna cheers.
Love you guys.
Oh my god.
It's the only thing I can take shots of. That's
Oh, it never gets easier.
No, it never does. Our relationship, how we met each other.
Yeah.
So.
I know my first memory of you.
Oh, Jesus Christ. What is your first memory of me?
So it was me, Julia, you, Dustin, and Liz, Mitchell Havikin, and we were all in the common room, the lobby, the common room of the what the fuck
of
is
Johnson,
that?
right?
Johnson, that dorm. That's a dorm at Wesleyan. So they had the common room there, and we were all hanging out there. And Liz had a crush on you. Apparently, everyone had a crush on you. Everyone was like talking about you before you got there, and I was like, I don't know who this motherfucker is, but apparently everyone's in love with him.
I've never felt more cool in my life.
And then I don't know, we were just like all drinking. It was like a Sunday or something. Nobody had rehearsal, and we were all just hanging out. And then like I remember Liz like holding her hand, and then we were all like, oh,
We're all like,
what?
whoa!
Like, oh, she swooped in there, and she like everyone was like talking about how cute you were, and she's like, no, it's mine. I was like, okay, girl, you get it.
Shout out, Liz. I love you.
Yeah.
I love
What's
you.
really funny about that? Liz is the next guest on the
Oh
podcast.
my god, so exciting! Oh well, Liz was my freshman year roommate. I love the girl. I love her so much.
Yes. So I did get introduced to these two girls when I kind of I was a junior at that point, and then I was seeing a girl, a lovely, amazing, talented woman, and then I introduced me to you guys, and that got me into that group of girls and knowing you guys. And you guys are freshmen. I was like, and I did get flack for hanging out with freshmen. I hung out with you guys a lot.
Whatever, we're cool freshmen.
We were
You are
awesome.
cool freshmen. But Julie and I had like Julie and I just became really good friends.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of were always like a younger sister to me. I've had, stories about your shoe was in my car, making sure I'm walking you home.
Yeah, you were a main key story. You were a main point of my favorite college story about myself. So.
What was that?
The skirt story.
The skirt story.
You want to tell it right now?
Do you want me
I don't
to
need
tell
that.
it?
You can tell it. 'cause
Yeah,
I'll
you'll
probably-
remember. Okay,
yeah.
I'm gonna try. I've told this story
it was
a million times, but
yeah.
it's good podcast material. So basically,
Yeah.
are you done with your introducing him story? Didn't you burp? Really?
Yeah, that was the part
That's
of
the
story.
punchline. That's the punchline.
Yeah,
The
come
burp
on,
is the
cut it down.
punchline.
Yeah.
Okay.
But when we were all hanging out, we were just like all like drinking or whatever, and like I don't give a fuck about anything. I
I
don't
do
care.
remember
don't-
that night
Yeah.
actually because it was like everybody thought it was funny. Like I was cracking jokes and I was like, yeah.
You were like, I'm
was
cool.
One of those things where like the older
Right,
guy
but
felt really cool.
I stole the show because I don't. If anyone who's listening and knows me knows that I burp like a truck driver, and I stood up on a chair. I was just like I was overcome, and I was like I'm gonna stand up on this chair and just let one out, and so I did. I stood up on the chair and I like put my arms out and I was like, and everyone just went silent, and everyone's faces were like. Jaws dropped, and then our friend Mitchell, God bless his soul.
My pledge son.
His-
He was
yeah,
a-
yeah,
a
yeah.
pledge son,
He
yeah,
goes,
the
he goes,
fraternity,
he goes, he breaks the silence. He goes, I'm impressed and a little turned on. And
It was
everyone started
perfect.
laughing.
We all
Oh,
started
that's
cracking
good.
up.
It was just a fun night, but oh my god, well, so much to come after we met you.
Oh, there's so much.
I
don't
know.
if it's in a good way.
I don't know if basically like Dustin and I became close because Liz was my freshman year roommate, so like we spent a lot of time together, and then we ended up just becoming friends outside of that.
We created our own handshake too.
Yeah.
And I don't
remember
the
it.
biggest part about it was we threw our book bags down.
Yeah, we would like go whenever we saw each other in the hall, we would try and like
throw the book bags down, and then it was like a real simple thing. But yeah.
And like I was interested, or I was like hooking up with someone in your fraternity at the time. I mean, we all learn from our mistakes.
We all learn.
And so he was very protective of me, which I really needed because I was a fucking crazy person, and I got drunk all the time. I mean, I still do, but like. He would basically just take care of me and was there for me. And then I have this distinct memory of when you and Liz kind of went south. We like had a meet. We like had a meeting. You and I in your fraternity room about how we're gonna stay friends and how we're friends outside of your relationship with her. And I love how we both were like, we're gonna still like hang out, right? And then. He just started dating all my best friends after that, which was so it was
just like one after another. There's like no breaks in between.
No breaks in between. Then and granted, I started dating one of your best friends as well, and so that like
I didn't date any of your friends. Haha.
bitter enough.
I was single all throughout college. No, but
I think that's an interesting sentiment because it's during that time the year before I had just kind of went through a breakup. Like
Right.
it was like my first real relationship after my high school relationship. Which talk about like relationships in those college, high school settings are kind of sometimes. Dude, these biddies be pouring the whole bottle.
Sorry.
Which they should. Which they should. That's the point.
No.
Hey, again, we drink on the podcast and we talk. That's the whole fucking point.
yeah.
But I was lucky enough, like, I went through a phase when I finally started seeing girls again, and it was like the new girls in the theater department.
Like
and then
everyone in our freshman class.
And then
Listen, we were all hot, so we all
that is true.
are hot.
They're beautiful women, and that God damn it. That's the personal shit.
And you really capitalized on that. You're like, I need a piece of everything. I have my...
And that was the definition of Dustin being a fuckboy, I guess.
No, but you were committed to most of these girls, so I will give you credit.
Okay. Back. So you guys are very beautiful, talented women in New York City. So when you guys first got here, how was the audition scene for you guys? What was... I always feel like the audition scene in New York City is really hard for women, 2-3 times more than it is for men.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially for a straight male actor in New York City. I think you guys, I feel like, have a way harder time or a harder go of it because there's so many of you guys.
I don't know. For me, getting here originally, I felt it's a really interesting few months to look back on still. It was I felt very euphoric for the first few months I was here. It was the novelty of the city. It was us being a bunch of us from our class. I think 10 of us all moved here around the same time. So
you guys
it was
were really New York heavy. I'm gonna move because you guys always. Correct me if I'm wrong. You guys kind of always thought New York, no matter what.
I was committed to Chicago because when I was dating Adam, I wanted to be there with him, and then I realized that I wanted to do New York, which is why we eventually decided to mutually end things. But so it was only recent that I started to think about New York, and I'm really glad I did because I definitely feel like it was absolutely the right decision. But when I got here at first, it was very much I was riding on a high of moving here with my best friends. I had a job in Times Square. So I feel like when I look back on when we went to a ton of auditions. We went to a lot of auditions when we first moved here, and I got a few callbacks. And so I was riding that wave and riding that high. And I think that it was just because I was kind of just didn't care as much as I thought I would, which is exactly the mentality to go into an audition. I mean, there were some that I was really nervous about and stuff. But for the most part, it was easier than I thought. I don't know. It was it's built up so much in your brain at school, and then you get here and you're okay, cool. You're ever gonna do, yeah, and then you go in and just be yourself, and there you go. Yeah. And my favorite audition was the one where I booked the cruise that I ended up working on because I rolled in, same outfit, same makeup as the night before. I'd gone out the night before. I was hungover as fuck. I still had all my makeup on from the night before, whatever. I was just listen, I'm just gonna do this shit. And I did it, and it was just chill, and that's, I think, why it caught their eye, because I was I'm just gonna go in and do my thing. I'm not gonna build this up. I'm not gonna freak myself out. And so I thought actually I was the most successful right when we moved here, because I was riding on that confidence and that high. And then I think it was harder when I got back to the city after being away for 8 months on the cruise. Then I was I built it up in my head again for some reason. But that's kind of how I felt when I first moved here.
Megan, did you always kind of want to move to New York City? Was that kind of your dream as an actress?
Yeah, well, it's weird because I always wanted to live in New York even before I had decided I was going to pursue acting. I visited with my high school choir group when I was 16, and I just came here and it just felt so right. I can't even describe the feeling, and I just was so happy every time I was here. And I visited a couple more times, and this is so funny and dumb, but when I was a kid, I loved it so much that every time I would visit New York and then leave, I was always crying on the plane ride home. I didn't want to leave. It's just
That's
I think
so cute.
Yeah, but cute. you know what it is.
God
though,
damn.
Is that,
I never felt that way about anything.
New York is just I'm also just an emotional person, but New York is just one of those places, and I feel deep here, but I feel when I was in high school, especially I had friends, but I didn't really fit in a lot. I was a dork. I was really outspoken and nerdy and I just wasn't popular. And then there were a lot of moments when growing up that I felt I couldn't be myself. I was afraid to actually be who I am, because I was just I grew up in the fucking Midwest, and it's just judgment zone. I swear to God, it's just it is. Yeah. And it sucks.
It can really be for anyone that's kind of
and so
and wants to be that artsy kind of person.
Right. And then it's just being in New York, I just felt so accepted immediately. I was I can wear what I want. I can be goofy and outspoken, and that's normal here. And I'm not even that out there as a person. There are, people who are way more like out there and like crazy, but even just like the little bit that I could like just be like, I feel like free to just like be myself without the judgment of others, which is just like the best feeling in the world, which is part of why I think I really wanted to move here. But
wow.
And I think that's a test. I think that just what you just said is a testament to why Megan and I have come such a far way in the few years that we've been here, because the city's just done us well in terms of like, we're both so much more confident in ourselves than we were when we were in college. And it's funny because like I always thought, oh, moving here I'm going to be more self-conscious and like scared because I'm going to be in like the real world, but it ended up being the opposite, where it was like propelled me. And from what I've witnessed with Megan, the same thing, where now we're both like confident, strong, independent women that like, you know, it's a testament to us as people as well. But I just think that the city really helps with that. It's just not a judgmental place.
Yeah, and I think what else it helped me realize is like, I don't know, like you had a really like successful time auditioning when you first moved here, and like mine was not as successful. Like I was auditioning a lot and I did get some callbacks and stuff, but like I don't know, very like within a couple of months I was just like, I don't know what clicked in my head, but I was just like I was like, I don't know if I like doing this. I was like it was always my dream to be on Broadway, but like part of me I feel like was like pushing to do it and pushing to be successful because I didn't want to let other people down, and I wasn't even like focusing on what I actually wanted out of my own life.
So do you feel like you have kind of you came here wanting to do theater, and you feel like it's all kind of like not as interested in it or want to pursue it as much anymore?
I mean, I like honestly like if the right opportunity came to me for acting, I would do it, but like I'm not in pursuit of it. I just like I think that I am more suited for like a music career, and that's what I want to put all my energy toward. And it was kind of just like a discovery that I made while I was living in New York, that I started writing music just for fun, and then it felt really right, and I was like, oh, I think this is what I'm called to do almost.
No, that makes a lot of sense, because I think also from like where we both went to college and studying arts and stuff, I think it's like this thing where if you don't go to if you go to New York, you go to these big cities and you're auditioning, then you're not just constantly doing it. You're a failure.
Yeah.
Which is
and they make
really
you feel like if you don't book a job within the first 6 months, then you just shouldn't be an actor. And like, granted, I loved we had good professors, but they had flaws, and that was one of them. And like, I don't think we ever should have felt pressured the way we did to be so successful. It's like, like we want to be successful, but like if you make us feel like we are gonna be a failure when we don't live up to your expectations, it's just like that wasn't actual like love from a mentor. That was just like your pride, you know?
Yeah, like, I think you're not a failure. I think that's this misconception in
not
theater
at all.
In the world. Like, this business, the acting theater type business I've always said, is stupid. It's stupid. It doesn't financially make sense. It doesn't make sense. It's whatever. It's something that if you really want to love to do it, and if you choose not to do it anymore, it doesn't make you a fucking loser or failure or anything like that. It's I'm choosing. Okay, this isn't for me, which is better because it's better for you, because then you can make a whole new life and everything.
Right.
I also feel that way with New York in general. Like, just because it worked for me, it doesn't mean that it's going to work for everyone. And so, and our not just our program, I just think that all theater programs do this, but like theater programs have this stigma where you have to go to New York. If you don't, you're setting yourself up for failure. If you go to New York and then you leave, you're a failure. And that's just not the case. And so that's why, I'm so proud of our college friends who have tried it here and then said, listen, I tried, it's not my thing, I'm going to leave, and that they should not be considered failures. No. And I hope that all of our friends that did that are proud of themselves for making that move, because it is hard, because we are a little pressured to be here.
Like New York isn't for everyone. Like
no. And you don't know it's not for you until you live here for a year or two.
For me, it's like I always wanted to live here, but that was even before I wanted to be an actor. So I feel like that was, I more just wanted to live in New York, not because of acting.
So you loved like the idea of the city.
Yeah, and so like I moved
which
here.
I would have never, I talked about love, I fucking hated it. Hated
I mean, I love that, I love the first time you were here.
The first time I was here was the most frightening
the
thing
trip,
in the world.
and the first time you've been on a plane.
Yeah, it was the first time I ever flew in a plane.
That was so crazy to witness. I was on the plane with you. I just was so crazy to witness that you've never,
Wait, I think I was on that plane too.
Yeah.
Was
We
that
all took the
how
same
many?
flight.
Was it like 10 of us?
Yeah.
Oh, it was like the whole group of us. Because like I remember I was like, this is the cheapest flight I found. Everyone buy this, and everyone bought.
I just couldn't. I can't remember who was all there, but yeah.
It was a lot. Yeah, there's a whole. There's actually I have the picture on my phone, but it's like all of us all together on the flight. Because I remember your boyfriend, my good friend Adam at the time, he's still my good friend. I don't hate you, Adam.
Hi, Adam.
Her boyfriend at the time.
Her boyfriend at the
your
time, my good friend.
Hi, Adam.
Whatever. He, I remember he jokingly was like, I was so confused. So like the landing before you go to New York
LaGuardia.
City,
Yeah, it's
to
the
LaGuardia.
yeah.
And again, first time ever on a plane.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
all I see is water. And I remember in my head, which is such a dumb thing to think, but I've never been on a plane. I was like, yeah, dude, I just see water. Where the fuck are we landing? And then Adam looks at me and he goes, we're gonna crash. And
Oh my god,
I got
Adam.
so mad. I was like, what the fuck? My girlfriend had already been to, she had traveled to New York at the time, so I had no one to really calm me down. And then Miles, being an asshole, just like went with it. He's like, yeah, dude, I don't know, man.
I remember that.
Hey, what? And then I don't know who it was, but someone just like, can you stop and leave Dustin alone? Like, we're fine, Dustin. And then you see, it's so weird though, that landing in LaGuardia, like, it's water, and we landed.
Yeah.
Where the fuck did that come from? So you guys started a group called Charm the Air.
Oh yeah.
Which you...
That old thing.
Yeah. R.I.P.
You guys are... Why did you guys want to... It's one of the Instagram things you guys... Again, you guys created a lot of Instagram things. And you're incredible... You both are incredible singers. Why is there a reason that kind of ended? Or like kind of things that like... Why is it that you created that in the first place?
Yeah, well... how it started was... I wrote a song... And I showed it to Brooke and Julia, and then we like all sang it together and like added harmonies and stuff. And we're like, oh, let's start a band. And it was kind of like it started as like a half fun, half serious thing. I think, right? So like, at the same time as we're like, oh, we're doing this for fun. It was just like, well, if we actually like tried, we could be really good and like make it into something. And so for a while, like we wrote a couple songs and like played together and did a couple of like small shows, and it was really fun. And I think that during this time, personally for me, I had just like that kind of revelation where I was like, oh, I don't want to do theater anymore. Like I want to be a musician, and like I want to dedicate my life to writing music and being a musician. And I was really excited about making that.
What's your philosophy into making music? Like, how do you go about making a song? Which I made like dumbass raps.
Yeah.
Like, that seems like a really intriguing thing. Like, do you find people to play? Do you do music on GarageBand? Do you just like find a beat when you're like? Do you write the lyrics before you find a beat in your head?
Yeah, it's always different. I mean, when I first started, it was just like, it was just kind of like an authentic, like, thing that just kind of flows most of the time. Like usually a lot of the songs, especially when I first started writing, had to do with the relationship I was in at the time, which just was like an emotional roller coaster, and just like gave birth to a lot of different songs basically, because I just had a lot of content going in my life at the time. And so yeah, I mean, I think that most of the time it just starts with me like mousing around on the guitar, and then I'll just like sing a line and be like, oh, that's kind of cool, and then just build on it from there, until it's kind of finished. But I feel like the best songs that I write are honestly ones that just kind of like flow all at the same time, like all come out like in one sitting.
It's like a natural feeling.
Yeah.
You do. That's how I feel about all my birthday raps. So.
Yeah, but in terms of Charm the Air, going back to that. Like, I just, like, started getting to a point where I was like, I think this is what I'm supposed to do with my life, which, like, sounds really deep, but, like, that, it was just a revelation that I had, and I was, like, really wanting to be serious about, like, pursuing things with Charm the Air, and it's not that you guys weren't committed to it, like, you and Brooke specifically, but, like, I just don't, it felt like, and I think that you would agree that both you and Brooke, shout out to Brooke.
Hi Brooke, we love you. We miss you.
Brooke, you be on the podcast whenever you want.
Yeah, you should. She'd be a good interview. But like it felt like, more for Julia and Brooke, that it was more like they loved doing it and they had so much fun doing it. It was such a great creative release, but I don't think at the end of the day either of them wanted to give up other creative paths in their life to pursue only that, which I think, you know, if you want to be serious in the music industry and be serious about making it your career, it's just like, you know, you kind of have to focus and put all your energy on that and just like dedicate all your time to it. And all your creative energy to it, which is what I was ready to do, and like I think that they maybe were not. I don't want to put words in your mouth, and so we just like had a conversation, and it was kind of just
I did cry when we had this conversation.
It was a hard conversation.
It was
because like I was just like I want to do this, and I was like, I don't know if either of you are ready for that, and I was like, I don't want you to tell me that you are just because you feel bad. I want you to do what's best for your life, but like this is what's best for my life, and I have to pursue it. Like I just feel like I have to.
It kind of talks to the fact of people just finding different paths. Like you said, like you started like in the podcast, Jules, about you want to direct more.
Yeah.
You feel like that's more. You start like as a. I always said that I think when I first saw you acting, and I remember Eric Little. Shout out to Eric Little, who
Hi Eric
listens.
Little.
But he I remember being like, when you were a freshman, I always thought you were the most talented actors I've seen in a very long
Jesus
time. It was like
Christ,
a natural thing.
Thanks.
Yeah, I know. I get whatever. Megan, I'll give you compliments too. I don't know how you sing as high as you do. I don't know how that shit works. But they're both very talented. But I remember saying that, and I always thought you were just a naturally talented actress. And then you're saying you kind of throughout this process, correct me if I'm wrong, you've kind of dived more into you want to direct. You found more love in directing. Is that correct?
Yeah, kind of. I mean, going into the end of Trying the Air was like, it was a tough conversation for me because I felt like I was at a crossroads in my life where I'm sure a lot of people can relate to when you're like in your mid-20s. And I had a rough year in the sense that I officially didn't act for an entire year because I was working on 9010, shout out to James Hamrick, but I, directed a show that our college friend wrote. Like, the show was based on our drama department. But anyway, so I directed, it was a project that him and I started from the ground up, and then it was a year-long project of us getting it. Then we finally got accepted into a festival, but then, which is totally fine, but I couldn't commit to an acting job, so I stopped auditioning because I was putting all of my time and energy into this project. And then pretty soon after that project ended, I had hurt my knee where I tore a few ligaments in my knee. So then I wasn't able to audition even after that. I was looking forward to be able to audition after directing 9010, and I wasn't able to do that because I physically couldn't. And so Charm the Air was something that was creatively good for me. It was the only thing I could creatively do because all I could do was sit, and I played the cajon in the Charm the Air where it's a drum that you sit on. So, and then I was just, so when that conversation happened, it was rough because all I wanted to do was audition and I couldn't. And then I was just like, oh my God, but she's completely right where it was not something that I wanted to be serious about. I mean, I was thinking about it seriously, but then when she pulled me aside and was like, I'm serious about this, it made me realize how I actually wasn't. But I thought I was. And so the conversation was really good. And then, that's why it was a hard pill to swallow. And then I thought about it. I was like, she's completely right. And I'm going to support her. And first of all, she's going to be like a pop star soon. And and I'm going to be her biggest fan always. And she's going to fucking kill it because she's the best songwriter and she's the best singer I've ever encountered. But like, it actually ended up helping me. And I wouldn't say that I'm more directing. I'm focused on acting and directing. But what's appealing to me with directing is I think I have a natural talent for it. And
What do you mean by you have... What would make you feel like you have a natural talent for it?
I think I have...
Is there like a moment that you're like, this is it, I understand it better, or whatever it is?
I think that I'm good with communicating with people in a nice way. Like, I'm not a director that's mean. I really like collaborative projects. Okay. And so that's kind of how we went about
like
90-10
and
and stuff.
Collaborating different ideas
with the actors. And I really like giving actors more responsibility than we're used to because I am one, so I get it. I just like getting opinions from people. Like, shout out to Alyssa again. She was my stage manager, and I would, turn to her for advice, and she was just as much part of the creative process as anyone. And so I think I'm good with working with people closely, but also I think that I have a good eye for composition, which is why I like taking pictures. I think I'm good at taking pictures. It's very similar with that.
This is a big component in directing.
Yeah, and I think I'm good with leadership.
Yeah.
Because I've always been I was a leadership in high school, and then I was in a leadership role in college and stuff. I just really like it. So I've gravitated towards that also because I like that when you're directing, the work is completely in your own hands. You can do whatever you want, and you can start from the ground up. And the thing that sucks about acting and performing is it can be demeaning in the sense that you have to go in and like cater to other people's needs. Whereas I kind of like the idea of it being like it's on my terms, and it's not on someone else's. So like if I'm like I want to create something cool, I have hundreds of resources in this city to be like, hey, do you want to do something? Do you want to film this thing? Hey, do you have something that I could film? Kristen Hasty and I were in talks before the pandemic started where I was like, I want to make this original show that you wrote a movie. So it's like, that we're going to figure that out eventually. I ended up thankfully getting brought on to associate directing this web series that I'm working on right now, but I'm also performing in it. So I'm not, so I'm trying to, I just don't think that you have to be one or the other.
One of my favorite things about you two, we've had a connection with. Julia, you're from Wisconsin, which means you're a big Packer fan.
Go Pack, go!
Go Pack, go! And as you can see in my room,
yeah,
first girls in my room, and
yeah, sorry, sorry about that.
But like, go Pack, go! So like, I'm also like the Packers are a big fan of mine. And then Megan, Cardinals.
Woo!
And Cardinals are my favorite baseball team. Cardinals are the first.
What about hockey? You got hockey in there?
No, I don't have hockey yet. Hockey, I've never.
Right,
so I kind of, as Nebraska, never had a pro sports team.
Right.
I kind of like never anything I watched was like a reason I watched it. Packers because my dad loved Brett Favre. Cardinals are because they're the first professional team. What is it like to have? Because you both lived in cities with like professional sports. What is it like to be at those professional sporting outlets that I have? Sadly, I've never been to a Packer game. I've luckily been to a Cardinals game, but I've never been from somewhere that has a pro sports team. So what is that like?
I personally, I don't know what it's like to not have a professional sports team in your city, but I mean, it's cool. I mean, the Cardinals are cool. I mean, I grew up going to Cardinals games all the time.
Cardinals are cool.
No, they're the best. But wow, I'm kind of tipsy right now. If you can't tell,
sober. I am sober.
Chug more shit.
Oh yeah. Should we just do a Julia chug really quick?
What is a Julia?
What's a Julia chug?
Yeah, what is a Julia chug?
It's just you chugging.
Oh. You just want me to chug? That's what a Julia chug?
Okay. Yeah, I don't know what else. I mean, chugging wine is not fun. I know. Whatever, do it anyway. But yeah, it was great. I mean, I grew up going to Cardinals game and then coming here. The Cardinals actually play at the Mets at least once or twice a year. So I've been to a Cardinals-Mets game in New York a couple times, which has been really fun. So,
because they're big rivals.
I don't know what else to
say.
Cardinals
are like the Packers Bears.
No, they're not. The Cardinals are like the Cardinals or if you want to compare the Packers and the Bears, you would compare us to the Cubs.
Yeah.
Our biggest
really?
yeah,
definitely.
We fucking hate the Cubs, ho.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, I can't help it.
Don't call me a hoe.
I'm
Don't call me a
Oh my God, Dustin just got so sad.
I will admit that I'm not the best baseball terminology. I did not know that.
So cheese runs in my blood. Like
Cheeseheads.
Basically, the way
How
that
did
it
you
was.
become
How did I become a Packer fan? I grew up in Wisconsin.
I guess I don't.
So
it's like a natural thing.
It
Because
is.
you're actually a big football fan. Like you just naturally love football, right? Because
okay. The reason why I like football is because of the Packers. Because a lot of family gatherings were centered around Packer games. Okay. And so at a very young age, I was like, oh, cool, I'm a Packer fan. Like, Brett Favre was, like, in our textbooks, and, like, Aaron Rodgers.
He's right there.
Yeah.
Look at him, he's right there.
But I love him.
He's right there, Megan. Look at him.
That's
It's right
Brett
there.
Favre.
He's on my wall. He's my favorite player.
It's just always been a huge thing in my family. It's just like a gathering thing. And also, I mean, like, here's a good example. When we won, when I was 15, when we won the Super Bowl, we had the day off of school the next day. It was like a holiday. You know what I mean?
Kidding?
Like, we had classes, but like all we did was like scream about how much we love the Packers. Do you know what I mean? So it just has been in my blood for forever. And I've been to Lambeau, thankfully, like seven or 8 times. And my dad brought me to my first game. I've gone with my mom. I've gone with my aunt. I've gone with friends. The last one I was at though was 20 and it was like 5 years ago, which is crazy. But Adam and I went to a game when we were in town, and I haven't been back since. But it's just a way of life in Wisconsin, and especially in my family. So it's a culture. It's a culture, and like
it's a culture.
Like,
it's like Husker football for Nebraska.
Yeah,
fans.
1,000%, but a little more sophisticated.
A little more sophisticated.
Not much,
right.
but a little.
That's funny.
Those Husker games were the most fun
So
I've ever
fun.
had at
Oh
a
yeah,
That's what it's like at a Packer game.
Yeah, they are Nebraska's professional sports team.
Which I've enjoyed. Actually, like 4 years ago today, I went to a Husker game. I found it on my time hop and stuff. But we've gone through some shit. Remember when we weren't like when you were like upset with me for a bit?
Well, no, but I mean, one of those things is when you go through like, as both of you have gone through like hard breakups. Breakups are the worst thing. Yeah. I think it's
ever.
I think they are. I mean, it's one of those things that sometimes, I mean, it sounds exaggerated, but it's like, it's the closest thing to death you can feel. Yeah. And like it's
but it's worse
so
because
many,
you can't talk to them anymore, and
you know they're still around.
It's something like you feel it and you're dead. Yeah. I've had one really big breakup in my life that like almost killed me. It was it's depressing, and you go through a whole depressive phase and everything. But
I've been there.
But again, like going like when people are connected and the age and social media and everything, it's you see everything nonstop. You see things no matter if I'm friends with this and this. So the reason that to connect with you is like I couldn't see pictures of anything like that other than it would just make me sad and depressed.
Yeah, okay.
And then it was, it's one of those things that it's like, all right, I have to completely not
engage.
I can, and then
sometimes
you
that's
lose.
the best thing for you, and that is okay.
Yeah.
And it sucks because then you lose, like I've lost, and then it'll bring back to the fact of me and us two being close now.
Yeah.
Is because I didn't talk. I was like, no, I can't do that. I know that that's a special thing.
You find your way back to people that matter.
Yeah.
Right,
I think that's really important. And but you do have sometimes in depressive kind of states, it's like you have to, I can't do this, I can't do that. And then you shut yourself out, and which is what I did, and then finally built into the fact of like,
and that's
these
okay.
People are
and also you gotta do what you need to do to heal yourself.
And I'm actually glad that we just brought that up, because this whole time I thought that it was a personal. I thought that you were personally upset with me that Adam and I had just broken up, so I had no idea that it was about your past relationship.
I'm a very loyal motherfucker.
No, I know.
Loyal motherfucker.
But that's why I was upset, because I was like, it was not our breakup was like not malicious or anything like that. So then I was like, why is he not taking, because he was both of our friends. So I thought that it was like, oh, you were picking a side, but there were no sides to be picked in that. So it actually makes me feel a little bit better that it was not a personal thing. It was like you couldn't like handle being around me for a bit. I'm sorry that you felt that way, but I'm glad that it was like and we never have talked about that before.
So Julie and I have always kind of, I think it was to be honest, like it was kind of hard as a podcast to be like, because as close as we are now, but I have way more memories with Julia. And Julia and I kind of like have I have stories and stories and stories and stories on me and Julia. But me and you, we really didn't. I'm trying to think the first time we've talked of like, hey Megan, but we didn't like.
I think it's when she started coming to Packer bars with me.
Probably.
Yeah, it was way after like
definitely
graduation.
In New York.
We graduated.
I don't think we weren't like not friends. We just like never talked, me and you, but it was just like it was
one of those
different,
like acquaintances things. I'm like,
we were.
Oh hey Megan, how's it going?
And then
I'm Dustin.
I mean, I remember feeling like it was like, oh, he doesn't like me.
Well, I felt that way too, and we've talked
about why.
We've talked
but let's just say somebody was in the middle. We're not gonna name names,
let's say
okay?
I wonder who.
Oh, interesting. And they, basically, that person told both of us that the other didn't like the other. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Someone spreads negativity, and then
and we both thought that I thought Dustin didn't like me. Dustin thought that I didn't like him, but neither of us ever actually had a problem with each other.
But we're adults now.
I'm glad we're friends now. Yeah.
Megan is actually like literally. I actually deleted this from a podcast, but I went through a thing where my little brother was hurt, and I was angry all day, and I'm a pretty angry motherfucker, and Megan is the only person. Like, it's really funny and interesting to be like someone that I never talked to in college, and never was like, and then we became close, and now it was like you called me, which I think is a really amazing thing, is like a close friend and person to care for, to be like, all right, this person's clearly upset, and I'm gonna call you. I'm not gonna be like, hope it goes well. Megan immediately was like, all right, I'll call you, I'll FaceTime, and made me feel great about everything. And it's fucking awesome to know that like someone that like you weren't close with when you were younger, but we're adults now.
Yeah,
adults,
and like obviously, like
Mm-hmm.
especially just like the three of us have gotten close now, and like I think we both definitely see you as like an older brother figure, as like someone who is like protective over us in like a good way, in a healthy like like I said, like older brother way, but like us the same way, is that we care about you and we see you as like an older brother, and if like you're fucking upset, like Julia was at work when everything was going down, so I was like, So I was like, let me just, I'm like, I didn't want to blow up her phone, so I was like, let me just talk to him, and like, obviously she would have done the same thing if she wasn't preoccupied at work, but we care about you, we love you, we want you to be okay.
You'll always be in my life. I mean, you know what, you remember that one time you were drunk and you told me I was going to be in your wedding party? I hope that still applies.
What the
well,
fuck?
I mean,
what about
granted,
you're like,
I'm
she's
not
gonna
going to
be
get
in
married anytime
prison.
soon, but I mean,
did I
for
get
sure.
to come?
Yeah, you can come. I mean, the catcalling.
It's horrible.
The whatever, all that kind of shit, whatever you classify that as. And I want to talk about like being a girl in New York City and dealing with kind of that harassment around.
I mean,
we literally experienced it on the way here.
Incredibly angry, and I wouldn't say like I'll let the two women in the room obviously talk about it, but being upset. It makes me upset. Being at a bar and setting the scene is like I'm at a bar. Julia's talking to, or just talking to friends, and then I'm just buying a drink, and then another drunk couple dudes are just like being harassing or whatever, and like me trying to help was like, just go to my rank, and I'll deal with this shit.
Yeah, which you have done to me before, like multiple times.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
But like, how do you feel in that situation? How do you get out of that situation?
I mean, listen, it's different. I mean, so Megan and I just dealt with it a handful of times on our way here because because in painting the picture, guys, we look awesome right now, and so it was like so.
But they still can't call me when we're wearing fucking sweatpants.
My
hair is up and I got no makeup on, so
and
it doesn't it's just like
we were on the subway here, and this dude just stared at us for 45 minutes, and it was so annoying.
It was two dudes. They were like together and they were hanging out, and they just kept staring at both of us on and off, and I was like trying to cover like my cleavage with my bag so that they wouldn't look at it. It was just like so gross. And then even when we got off the train, it was like literally every 2 blocks I felt like somebody in this neighborhood said something to us, but it happens in our neighborhood too, and it's just like, I don't know, I mean, usually like we get catcalled, but I feel like it's like way worse right now, I think because of COVID, and like everyone's just deprived of human interaction, so when they see a girl dressed up, they're like, oh my god, I have to say something inappropriate to her. How do you guys
get out of those like you think there may be dangerous situations, or like you think what do you do like
if it's
again, I don't want to say that you need to have a man there. Me, like I'm just gonna immediately beat that dude's ass, like, whatever. But
if it's a catcall, I never feel unsafe because I know they don't have any
Especially
balls
during the day and there's a bunch of people around. They're not gonna do anything.
I know that
you guys have instances that like it's really,
unsafe?
Yeah, unsafe.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I've been like, I was chased one night.
Oh, God.
That's a whole nother story. But like, there are times that we've been felt unsafe. I think that, I was actually thinking about this today because we had so many people catcalling us today. When Megan and I first moved here 3 years ago, her and I were like fucking spitfires, and we would be like, fuck you, flip them off, like scream at them. And at first that felt good. Now it's kind of like whatever. I just like ignore them completely, which actually feels even better than telling them off because I just don't acknowledge them. No, I don't feel unsafe in that sense. I think if you're referencing the bar, it's a little different.
If a dude at a bar, I'm like, I want you hit
Yes,
on me.
that's what I mean. That's
but
what I mean.
Then it's like, if you're being creepy about it, I don't want you to. But.
So if a dude comes up to me and I'm uncomfortable, like for that, there is a specific time that I'm thinking of when we were all out for Chase's birthday and like this dude was like hitting on Liz and I. You were very good about being there. That was amazing for you to like be next to me. I mean, it fucking sucks that I have to have a tall, good-looking dude next to me for someone to be like intimidated to not come up to me. But also, you shouldn't have to. I'm not saying I need that, but also. It's such a good feeling to be able to walk around and feel good about yourself and not get catcalled. Because here's my biggest thing. Mm-hmm. When I feel amazing about myself and I'm walking around, even if this isn't that revealing, but even if it was, because I have, we have all worn revealing stuff.
The idea of like.
And I should be able to if I want to.
Yeah, I should be able to.
You should never think of
it's not for you, hoes. It's for me.
Here's my thing. Yeah. And I've experienced this the whole 3 years, but 10 times more during COVID because, first of all, I don't dress up that much anymore because who's going out. Second of all, I feel great when I do dress up now because I don't do it as often. So I'm like walking around. It must be a confidence thing as well. But every time I walk around and I feel amazing, I get a million catcalls that make me feel disgusted, like dirty. And I had this conversation with my boyfriend Eddie a few weeks ago, actually, where I was like, it's amazing for me to walk around with you because he's a 6'3" dude, and it's night and day. He's like, yeah, I never really like see catcall happening. I'm like, oh, I fucking wonder why.
You're a fucking guy.
I mean, that's not like how he phrased it, but that's kind of how the conversation is going. It's like whenever I'm walking around with him, it's amazing because no one even gives me the time of day. Right. I do get catcalled when I look like a piece of crap.
Yeah.
And I'm in like sweatpants and like sweaty and like
that's
gross.
That's so much even worse to me. It's like, calm down, you guys. You haven't even seen me at my best yet.
Yeah, well, and that is true, but it's also like, but then when I'm walking around, obviously we all have a different aura when we feel great about ourselves. And so then I'm like walking around and then like one block goes by, I've had a couple catcalls, okay, I'm like less confident. Another one goes by, okay, I'm less confident. And it's not that I'm less confident, but I'm just, like, insecure.
Yeah, because you don't want people to fucking say shit to you. That's not why you dressed up.
So it's sometimes, like, if I dress up...
I can't even just wear jeans and a nice shirt without you fucking, like, salivating. It's disgusting.
It's disgusting. And why... It makes me never want to feel or look good ever again in the city because I don't want to have to deal with that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I understand that perspective. I'm a little bit different that I'm just like, I'm like, I get fucking annoyed by it, but it doesn't make me feel bad about myself. I'm just like, all right, like that was fucking annoying, but whatever. And I just move on. And I'm just like, whatever. Like,
it depends on the day for me as well.
I mean,
like today it really got to me.
It was just annoying. It was just like, it was more annoying because I feel like, usually I feel like it happens less when I'm with somebody.
Yeah. So like
if I have like another person with me, I feel like, if it's like the two of us walking, I feel like guys are more intimidated to not say anything because we can defend each other. Mm-hmm. But when I'm by myself, it's like, I feel like it's way more often that I get catcalled. So like, it's just like annoying. It's like, it's just annoying.
They're preying on vulnerability. The crazy thing though is I've gotten catcalled 3 times while I'm with my mother. That's been the worst.
I would be.
Maybe they like didn't know that she was my mom and she was just walking next to me. But like that was the worst for me personally because I don't want my mom to be scared that I'm walking the streets of New York and she's witnessing firsthand the shit I deal with every day. Right. God, that's the worst as well because I just wanted to like punch him in the face.
It's time for Rapid Shots.
So, rapid shots are going to be, you don't have to just take continuous shots. Everyone calm down.
Can you imagine?
Can you imagine? It's like every question is a shot. And then they died.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go one person. I'm going to do 10 questions. Try to give me your, quickest answers or whatever if we go into a conversation. Totally fine.
Rapid shots. Rapid shots with Dustin.
That's pretty. I don't know how you sing pretty.
That was not...
weird.
Okay.
All right, so I'm going to start rapid shots. I'm going to start with Jules. All right, Jules, you ready?
Yeah.
So I got 10 questions for you.
It's stressful. Okay.
All right, favorite Disney movie?
Beauty and the Beast.
Oh, yeah. Tacos or pizza?
Pizza.
Ooh, okay. First animal you went to see in the zoo?
I don't know. Peacock.
Peacock?
I remember. I have a vivid... it's a long story. So yes, peacock.
Peacock. Favorite Packer player?
BJ Raji.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Aaron Rodgers.
I mean, Aaron Rodgers is my celebrity crush, but I mean, I love him. I love you, Aaron. If you're listening, I love you. Will you marry me? But no, BJ Raji.
First impression when meeting me. Like, what was your first thought of when you met me the first time?
This guy can hang.
It's good. Performer you look up to?
Oh, Jesus Christ. I should know this off the top of my head. I don't know. I don't want to.
Kristen Bell.
Yeah, Kristen Bell.
Megan
Thank you.
Megan
Actually, yes,
Jules.
1000%. And
I know her so well.
And
Okay.
I've had so many people tell me that I remind them of her, I remind me.
That makes a lot
I
of
don't know,
sense.
but yeah.
Biggest pet peeve.
When people call me Julie, and then I correct them and say Julia, and they say, same thing. It's not. Listen,
Hey.
Julie and Julia are two completely different names.
I thought you were about to say Jules. I'm like, I call you Jules.
No, I love when people call me
I do
Jules.
so.
I love that.
What's one thing you want to put on your bucket list?
Oh, that's a great one.
I know.
What's one thing
Like
I would
stir the
put
pot.
on my bucket list?
I'm fucking innovative.
Honestly, I really want to drop everything and move to a foreign country for an entire year on my own without anyone with me
Is there a specific
and
country?
thrive there. Not necessarily. I think, not anywhere.
Okay.
Easiest something that is English speaking because I'm not really fluent in anything else. But no, I want to go anywhere and then do it on my own. So
Can you name 3 country artists?
no.
Okay.
No, I can't.
She's like one. No.
Damn it!
I really can't.
Favorite quality of Megan's?
Oh.
That was so cute. They did like a picture. It was so adorable.
My favorite, I mean, there's so many. How do I pick one?
She opens her mouth really wide.
Honestly, I think my favorite quality is how accepting she is of herself.
No.
Because in turn, also she's accepting of me, but just like I really resonate with how confident she is and who she is. It's very.
Hey, all right.
But
let's
also,
do it
wait,
again.
one more. But also,
Go
I
ahead.
like how weird she is, and also how much she burps.
Oh yeah. They all go hand in hand.
All right, yeah. So let's go. Good job, Jules. All right, Megs, you ready?
Yeah.
So you got you. All right. Skittles or M&Ms?
Skittles.
Yes. First thing you buy if you were given $1 million right now?
I mean, does paying off my student debt count?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll do.
It's your money, Megs.
Two
It's your money.
things. Well, my student debt one, and then I would buy my parents a beach house.
Okay. All right. Favorite musical ever?
Oh God. Heathers.
Heathers. Okay. First impression of me when you met me?
Fuck boy. To be honest, you're not. I don't
It's
think
fine.
that anymore, but at the time, 6 years ago.
Who's your favorite Cardinal player?
David Freese. He doesn't play for the Cardinals anymore, but he was a big help in winning the 2011 World Series. So.
Who's your celebrity crush?
Oh no. I'm so bad at celebrity crushes. Like, I don't really have crushes on celebrities. This is like,
Fuck them all. No.
like, can I pick Jennifer Lawrence? Like,
Yeah,
I wouldn't fuck her,
course.
but maybe I would. I don't know. But like, but just like as like, I just love her. I think she's great.
Maybe she was like, "Hey, Megs, maybe." You'd be like,
Nah.
You never know. Never say never.
Favorite childhood or cartoon show?
Powerpuff Girls.
Ooh, that's a good one. Would you rather walk on a beach or walk on a mountain line?
Beach.
Beach, okay. And dream car.
I don't dream about cars. This is an interesting question. Honestly, I used to have a Volkswagen Jetta, and I freaking love Volkswagen Jetta, so I would take that again.
Bet. Favorite thing about Julia?
She's just always there for me. Like,
It's so
this
cute
is
when
like
you
so
guys look at each
sentimental,
other.
but like, no, it's
God.
just like anytime I like need to like vent about something, because like honestly, I'm fucking emotional, and like sometimes like my emotions get the best of me, and like I just like need to like bitch about things and get it out, and like she just always just like lets me unload my shit show on her.
Me too.
Hey! Alright, so that'll end rapid shots. So I'll get into the second segment, which is Dusty's Drunken Thoughts.
Dusty's drunken thoughts, y'all. Here we go. Drunk ass. God damn it.
My number one drunken thought this week was I miss Robin Williams.
Oh, me
Robin
too.
Williams was the first actor that when he died, I was like, I felt something. I was like sad, and I really miss his work and how incredible he was.
Can I respond
Yeah.
to that?
Oh yeah. You respond. You don't just like listen to me.
I don't know.
I say drunken thoughts. Shut up, Julia.
Is this Dustin really?
It's just
like,
me talking.
Is it therapy now? I don't know.
No. Yeah, you said. Please respond.
It's ironic that you said that. I just had a work friend over at our place the other night, and we talked about our favorite movies. My favorite movie will always be Hook with Robin Williams.
Yeah.
And for many reasons, I think it's a beautiful movie, and he's just one of the actors he's one of the reasons why I'm into acting in the first place. Because he reminds me a lot of my dad, and I watched a lot of my dad, and just his portrayal of so many different characters is amazing to me. And yeah, that was the first actor death that really, really took a toll on me mentally.
Yeah, his ability to... His comedy was always the first thing that I always loved, and my mom was actually a big fan of his, and he was one of the first like stand-up comedians. Like my mom would be like, "Just come watch this," and it was like clean, but it was funny as hell. Oh.
I mean, and just as a person, he's so great, and or he was, and my mom actually went to high school with his ex-wife, the mom of his kids. And it's just, I've just always felt a very personal connection to him.
Megan, you have any thoughts on Robin Williams?
He's great. I'm sorry. Like,
no, it's fine. No,
I don't think I have as strong as a connection to you guys
didn't feel that way.
that
That's
he did
which
to
is
you
totally
guys.
okay. Yeah,
He's a wonderful man. R.I.P.
I fucking love that. Yeah, it's like some people like feel like the need to be like, but he is everything he did. Yeah, I didn't feel that way. Which is
no, I think he's great.
Point.
I just didn't know
he's
him
great,
that
but
well.
Well, I didn't know him well either. I think the thing is the fact that like he's the first actor I ever felt like when he died. I was like, it was the first feeling of someone
Flubber?
I didn't know, Flubber, and anything.
Amazing.
I think the first person I felt that way about was I can't remember his name, and it makes me feel so bad, but. The guy who played Snape. What's his name?
Oh, Alan
Rickman. Yeah.
Oh,
just
okay.
Yeah, that was a tough one.
You felt that way about him.
And those happened within the same year. It was like a year. Yeah.
Just that was hard.
Drunken thought number 2. If I had $1 million given to me right now, I would buy a truck more than I would want to have a truck more than I want anything in life. I love trucks.
What kind of a
just
truck?
trucks. Ram 500.
No, but truck to me. Listen, I don't know a lot about.
Don't ever talk to me.
I don't know a lot about trucks. Do you mean a semi?
Don't ever put your fucking hand to me.
No, like a pickup truck.
Oh, like a pickup truck.
Yeah.
Oh. See, I
I'm
need
not
it
doing
down.
semis everywhere,
She from
Jules.
Wisconsin.
No. So for some reason, I have this thing about like something that I like to make a success in my life is like just having a pickup truck. And it's also because, like, you know, like, every boy, I think, always wants to kind of be like their dad. And my dad has always had, like, pickup trucks. He's a carpenter and everything like that. Me having a pickup truck is, like, just the biggest, like, I made it. It's, I want that more than I want probably anything in life. More than I want to be a famous actor or anything like that. I want a pickup truck. I'll get a pickup truck or whatever. But I feel that way. Any thoughts?
Get your fucking truck.
We're gonna start a GoFundMe for Dustin to get a truck.
All right, Dustin drunk number 3. I think that LinManuel is the modern day Shakespeare. Right? No, you don't think so?
He's great, but he's not Shakespeare.
Okay. I'm not saying he's Shakespeare. I'm saying he's the modern day Shakespeare.
I mean, he does well for himself. I think he's very talented. I'm not taking away from any of his talent, but how many works did Shakespeare write? And I know that Lin-Manuel's life is not over yet, but he has 2 hit musicals, and Shakespeare has, I can't even, how many? So
That's very true.
many.
I think that I think that he is such a hero of mine personally that I'm like, this person that, me personally, I'm like, I'm not like the best singer, but I can still write something and create something. And I think everything that he's created is always created an amazing argument and talkative point in history and everything.
Yeah, I mean, I think Lynn is great. I just like, you love.
It's an aggressive statement.
No, but it's just like you feel so connected with Lynn, right? But like I actually feel so connected with Shakespeare, and like when I was acting, that was like the one thing that like I was like, I'm really. Like, I don't want to toot my own horn, but I always felt like I was really good at Shakespeare and like understanding it and like speaking it when it comes to acting, and like I just fucking love Shakespeare. It's hard for me to like compare the two. They're just so different, but they're both very talented.
I agree with Megan. I don't think that they are one in the same, but I do in this. I agree with both. I don't think that he's the modern day Shakespeare, but I do think that
it's an aggressive statement. It's definitely an aggressive statement.
But I mean, I'm a huge Lynn
that's
fan.
the point of my drunken bullshit.
But I will say though, I think that they both did very revolutionary things for theater.
Yeah.
I think that, definitely, I mean, I don't even have to list the reasons why Shakespeare did that. I also don't think I have to list the reasons why Lynn did that. It was obvious that both of them were revolutionary for theater in a time where theater was maybe struggling or was not open to the masses.
Yeah, I think we'll have to see, when we're dead and gone, what stands the test of time. And Shakespeare has stood the test of time. It's been around for 200 years. I mean, it's fucking 250 plus now. But,
you guys make me sound really stupid because you're so like intellectual. I'm like, jeez,
but it says like maybe LinManual Miranda's work will last 250 years. Maybe it won't, but we'll just have to see.
Yeah, you don't know.
I mean, if any one of his work is going to, it's going to be Hamilton, obviously, because it's about a history of our country.
But I think, like for some reason, it's one of those things. Like again, drunken thoughts is like when I'm drunk, I'm like, yeah, I think that, and I think that just to make it knows whatever. All right, drunken thought number 4. I kind of wish I was a boxer in the modern day time or an MMA fighter. Okay. I kind of wish that I wanted to do. I feel like in my mindset now, I wish I wanted to do that. Would you guys ever watch a fight that I was in if you knew me now? And I'm like,
if you were in it, fuck yeah, I'd be there.
I would, but I'd be scared for your safety. I would. I mean, I don't really watch fights. I do sometimes if it's like a big fight, but like if it's someone that I know and I love, it'd be really hard for me to watch you getting all bloody and like beaten up. I would just scream and cry probably.
Yeah, I mean,
but I would still support.
Yeah, I've been in like whatever fights, but like again, like I'm not gonna. There's professional fighters. All right, so we're gonna end the podcast because these two beautiful ladies need to get the fuck out of here. Thank you guys so much for being on the podcast.
Thanks
I fucking love you too. We'll start with do you two have anything you want to plug, talk about, anything that people can follow you on, watch, look out for, anything like that?
I mean, just follow my personal account at Julia Wilkie, but also if you do want to follow the web series I'm working on right now, it's at Highlands. Oh, wait, let me check. Wait, hold on. Wait, let me get it right. But the project I'm working on right now, please follow just so that we can get a little bit of a repertoire. Or I don't know. Following. I don't know.
Maybe it's
not repertoire. Not the right one.
What the fuck is that?
Just follow us. At Highlands in Official, HIGHLANDSINOFFICIAL. Just follow us, even if you don't care about me. Just give me a follow.
All right, Megs, do you got anything you want to like plug in?
Yeah, you can follow my personal account at Megan in a Cup. It's not sexual, I promise.
But also, please follow her because
you should follow. Yeah, well, I make that joke because every time somebody hears my handle, they're like, "Oh, like 2 girls, 1 cup." I'm like, no, I was 12 and I thought it was funny.
Compared to 2.
Okay. Anyway, at Megan in a Cup. And then hopefully sometime this year I'll be, maybe early new year next year I'll be releasing a little bit of music for you guys to listen to.
Yeah. So yeah, again, I'm sorry.
You gotta make it
I'm still struggling over the
Yeah,
I'm still struggling over that. So thank you guys for listening, watching, everything like that. I have the privilege of having two of the most beautiful and talented women that I know in my life, and I appreciate you being here and taking the time to do this for something.
I'm so proud of you.
Yeah, we love you.
Yeah. Shit happens, but so thank you guys for listening. Follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. You two, I adore you more than I adore anything else. So,
Love you. Can we end it
Love
with
you.
Dustin's?
Yeah, we're gonna end it with a fucking thing, and I fucking love you too.
3, 2, 1.
Alright, I love you guys. Thank you guys for listening.
Love
Have a
you.
good one. Peace!